Hey y'all, welcome back to Go With The Flow, Yoga with Anissa. Today we are going to do a detoxifying lifting flow. It gets a little bit intense, so make sure you wear something really comfortable. The only props that you'll need is something for your knees if you like that lift, and one yoga block for our ending pose. So you can meet me on your mat. Okay. Beginning our flow. We arrive in mountain pose with our hands resting at our sides here, our feet hip width apart, digging into all four corners of our feet, lifting our toes to reinforce that feel. Engaging the thigh muscles here, just being really strong in the legs. Let's take 2 deep breaths here in the nose and out of the mouth. On our next inhale, let's bend the knees gently, circle sweeping our hands all the way up into upward salute. Bringing the palms together as we let the shoulders drop down. Gazing upward, careful not to crunch in the neck here. And you can widen your stance if it starts to feel uncomfortable to you. On our next exhale, bringing our hands back down to meet in mountain. Inhaling, circle sweeping our hands all the way up, taking our gaze up with it. Dropping the shoulders down. Bringing our hands back down to our sides here. One more time, let's bend the knees, circle sweeping the hands up. Exhaling, dropping the shoulders down, bringing the palms to touch. Inhaling once we arrive here, and then exhaling, bringing the arms all the way back down. Now, widening our stance, standing horizontal on our mat. We are going to go into Shiva's vigorous cycle of life. Now, I know that's a lot for just one yoga pose, but once we get into it, you'll see why. So starting on our right leg, we're going to bring our left leg to cross back behind it, both feet firmly on the floor here. Bending our knees generously, we're going to circle sweep our hands all the way up. Bringing the fingers to interlace here, dropping the shoulders down, leaving our pointer finger pointing all the way up. Taking that point over to the right side as we gently lean our torso to the right side. Only as much as you can go. You don't have to force a huge side body bend. You'll feel it either way, no matter how much you stretch or how little. So inhaling here for 2 deep breaths. One more. On an exhale, we are going to straighten our legs, bring our hands to our hips. Stepping out of that pose from the right side, we're going to bring our...
All right.
We're going to bring our right leg to cross behind the left leg, bending our knees here, circle sweeping the arms up, using that same energy as if we were upward saluting. Interlacing the fingers, dropping the shoulders down. Pointer finger pointed to the left now. One more deep belly breath. Straightening the legs, bringing our hands to our hips. We're going to step out of that pose and step up to the front of the mat. Feet hip width apart, sending our hips back. We meet ourselves in a forward fold, tenting the hands on the floor here. head be heavy. Maybe rocking it from left to right, up and down. Bending the knees, grabbing opposite elbows here. We bring ourselves into ragdoll. Straightening the legs if that's available to you. If not, you can keep the knees bent. Hinging from your hips to really bring yourself into a deep forward fold. Planting both hands firmly on the mat, bending the knees generously. We are going to hop back into plank. Arriving here strong through your fingertips all the way to your tippy toes. We're here for 3 more deep breaths. You're doing great. So from plank, engaging our core, we're gonna send the butt up and back as we walk the feet all the way up to meet in a forward fold. On an inhale, bringing ourselves to half lift. Exhale, flowing right back down, tucking the chin, tenting the hands on the mat. On an inhale, rising up to a half lift, resting your hands on your shins or the tops of your thighs here. Floating the hands back down, bending the knees, planting the hands, hopping back into plank. We're here for 3 deep breaths. On our last exhale, we are going to slowly lower the knees, grabbing the little bit of padding that you would need for your knees if you like. So arriving in tabletop, bumping the hips left and right here. Being sure to stack our wrists under the shoulders here. Legs are hip width apart. On an inhale, we are going to raise our right arm and our left leg to meet in bird dog. Exhaling, crunching both of them into center. Bringing the elbow as close to the knee as you can. Inhaling to expand. Exhaling to crunch in. Inhaling to expand. Exhaling to crunch in. From here, we are going to drop the right hand to the earth, keeping that back left leg lifted, dropping the back foot modified kneeling half moon. So slowly raising our left hand all the way up to the sky, gazing forward. And if you're looking for a little bit of a challenge, inhale, you can bring that left leg up halfway. Flexing your foot as if you are pressing up against a wall here. It's okay if you get a little wobbly. We're here for 2 more deep breaths. And 2, dropping that foot back down to the mat. Walking our hands all the way around while twisting our right foot straight back. You want to walk your hands all the way over to meet yourself in gate. left, your left foot should be pointed towards the back of the mat here. And slowly bringing the right arm overhead. Letting the left hand just rest on your shin here. We're here for 1, 2, and 3. Cartwheeling the hands back down. Swinging your right foot in, bringing your hands back to plank on the mat. Raising that left leg back up or leaving it down on the mat wherever you're comfortable. We are going to meet ourselves in kneeling half moon one more time on this side. For 1, 2, and 3. Keeping that back leg lifted, dropping the left hand, extending the right arm long. We're ending in bird dog here. Making sure to breathe wherever you are. All right, lower everything back down to the mat. Take a second here. You can curl the toes under, sink the hips back if you just need a little stretch before we shift over to the other side. All right, so from tabletop, let's extend our left arm long and the right leg back. Exhaling to crunch it all in, meeting in bird dog crunch. Inhaling back to bird dog. Last time. Dropping the left hand to the earth here. Slowly dropping the foot, rotating your body all the way to the right side, extending the right arm up to the sky. You can keep your foot on the mat, resting on your tippy toes, or you can slowly begin to lift the leg up and flexing as if you are pressing up against a wall. We're here for 1, 2, and 3. Exhaling to drop the foot down. Rotating your left leg back behind you. Walking the arms all the way to meet your right shin. Slowly bringing the left hand overhead here. Gazing forward as we meet in gate. Taking deep, loving breaths here. Embrace the shake. Exhaling to bring the hands back down to the mat. Walking your hands back forward. Swinging your left leg in. Keeping that back leg raised or on the mat. We come to meet in half moon again. Raising the right arms up to the sky. We're here for 2 more deep breaths. Exhaling, bringing the right hand back down to the earth. It's okay if you fall a little bit. We are here to catch you. Extending the left arm out long. We meet in bird dog. Last exhale, bringing everything down to the mat. Curling the toes under. We are going to slowly peel the hips back and all the way up into downward facing dog. On our tippy toes, let's take a minute to step it out. That was a little challenge right there. Challenge part 1. Taking a moment here to just really catch your breath. It's okay if you're a little winded, I'm right there with you. On our tippy toes, let's slowly drop the heels all the way to the mat or as far down as they go. From downward facing dog, we are going to slide the left leg up and bring it all the way in and dropping it on the mat wherever it lands. Using our hand to adjust our foot here. With our hands still tented on the mat, we are going to pivot the back foot to be parallel with the back of the mat, bending our front knee, cartwheeling the arms up, meeting ourselves in warrior 2. So let's point the back right leg towards the front of the right corner. Slowly leaning forward and then leaning back to make sure that we're not dumping our weight here. Gazing past our front fingertips here. So now bringing our hands to our hips, unpivot the back foot. We are going to bring it to hover right over wherever you have your knee relief or just hovering over the mat here. Slowly, we are going to bring the left elbow to the left knee, extending our right arm behind us, looking past our fingertips. We meet in fighting warrior 2. Stay with me. One more deep breath. Taking our hands down to the mat, meeting ourselves in a low lunge. Take a minute to just rock back and forth here. Catching your breath if need be. Now, keeping our back toes curled under, we are going to use our core to lift us all the way up into a nice high lunge, bringing the hands to meet, interlacing the fingers if that gives you more stability, or you can have your hands on your hips here. Whatever is most comfortable to you. Bringing our hands to our hips, we are going to step that back right leg all the way up to meet our left leg. Taking a moment here to just bend our knees a little bit. Maybe you feel like a little burn. No, I do. So bringing both of our feet to meet. Arriving at the top of our mat, we're going to bring our thumbs to our hip creases to sink the hips back and down into chair. Lifting your hands up to be parallel with your ears here. Keeping a nice long neck. We're here for 1, 2, 3, stay with me. And 4, straighten the legs, send the heart all the way down to meet in a forward fold. Grabbing opposite elbows. Ragdolling for a quick minute here. Just rocking it all out. Bending the knees here as we meet in ragdoll to just catch our breath. Dropping the hands to the earth, tenting your fingertips. Let's straighten the legs out, maybe widen the stance here. Slowly bringing ourselves into a half lift. Exhaling, bringing that all the way back down. And one more time. Inhaling to bring ourselves to a half lift. Exhaling, bringing the hands to meet the mat. We are going to step our feet back into downward facing dog. Taking a moment here just to mentally prepare for the moves that we're about to do on the right side. Dropping the heels. We got this. Bringing the right leg in to crunch up. Dropping it on the mat wherever it lands. Using our hand to guide it up. Pivoting our back left foot to be parallel with the back of the mat here. Bending our front knee. Slowly cartwheeling the left hand back as we bring the right arm up to meet in warrior two. Slightly pointing your back left foot to the front left corner. Maybe shifting forward and then shifting back just to make sure that we are even here. Gazing past your front fingertips here. Inhaling in the nose and out of the mouth. Exhaling to bring our hands to our hips. Unpivoting that back foot to face it forward. Slowly bending the knee to hover over the mat. Bringing our right elbow to sit on the front right knee. Twisting our body to the left. We look past our left fingertips, which are behind us here. Extending our arm to the sky, or you can leave it on your hip if that leaves more stability. Meeting ourselves in fighting warrior two, strong stance, even if we're shivering. We're here for 1, 2, and 3. Bringing both of the hands down to the earth to meet in a low lunge. Where you rock forward and backwards. Gaining some stability here. Catching our breath. On an inhale, sweeping our arms, using our core to lift us up into a high lunge. Letting the shoulders drop here. We're here for one more deep breath. Hang with me. Exhaling to bring the hands to the hips. Stepping that back left foot all the way up to meet the right foot. Bringing our thumbs to our hip creases to sink all the way back, or as far back as you can. Sweeping the arms up to be parallel with our ears here. We're in chair for 1, 2, 3, And for straightening everything out, circle sweeping our hands down. Meeting in ragdoll. Grabbing opposite elbows here. Bending the knees. Let your arms swing. Let's rotate which elbows we're holding here. Straightening the legs if that's comfortable. Tenting the hands on the ground here. Inhaling to bring us up to a half lift. Exhaling, bringing us back down to the mat. Inhaling to bring us up to a half lift. Exhaling all the way down. One more. Inhaling to bring you to a half lift. Exhaling to bring it all the way down. Planting the hands. You can step the feet back into downward facing dog, or you can hop the feet back. Pedaling it out. Keeping the neck nice and long here. On your tippy toes, let's lower all the way down to the mat with control. Meeting in tabletop. From tabletop, we are going to thread the needle, starting with our left hand, taking it up and all the way through, keeping those hips square. It's okay if your head doesn't come to meet the mat in due time. Being sure not to overwork here. Do what feels good to you. Unraveling to plant your left hand. Wherever your right hand landed, that's exactly where you want to put your left hand. Bringing the right hand all the way up and through to thread the needle on this side. Breathing deep into the belly here. Unraveling out of here. With our hands in front of us, we are slowly going to tuck the feet and just lean forward a little bit to meet in half plank. It's kind of like a girl push-up, but just not push-upping. So if you like, you can have the feet off the ground here, or you can keep the feet planted. Well, keep your toes curled under. Being sure not to lock in the elbows here. Just keep a nice micro bend. Engaging the core. We're going to be here for 3 more deep breaths. Taking your gaze down to the mat here with just your eyes, not like this, but really just looking down with your eyes. lowering the feet down to the mat, widening your knees to be hip width apart, walking in the hands about one step just to meet back in tabletop. On an inhale, sinking the belly, looking forward into cat. You guessed it, exhaling into cow. Inhaling, arching the back, really sinking into cat here. Rounding the back into cow. One more on your last inhale. Really exaggerate, align with your nose, bringing yourself into cat. On a loud exhale, round your back into cow. So while you're here, let's bring the big toes to kiss. Knees as wide as the mat, sinking all the way down. Maybe walking the hands out a little bit here to meet in child's pose. Relaxing the hands on the mat gently. Relaxing your forehead, massaging the third eye a little bit. Taking your head in just itty bitty circles. Just let the jaw be heavy here. Try not to clench. Just really relaxing your face here. Really digging deeper into this pose with every inhale and exhale. See how close you can get your heart to the mat. Inhaling to slowly lift yourself up, walking the hands back. We are going to grab that yoga block, placing it between our ankles here. Bringing the knees as close as we can to meet in hero. Drawing circles with your hands on the tops of your thighs here. Now letting the hands be still to drop down by your ankles. Excuse me. Using our core to straighten our back, maybe shifting back a little bit, just so you can feel like a wall is behind you, supporting you, keeping you nice and strong. Tucking the chin slightly into the neck to also elongate through the spine, all the way through your crown. Now bringing your hands to rest on the tops of your thighs. Let's inhale through our nose and out our mouth. Softening your gaze or closing your eyes. Finding our palms together, bringing them up to heart center. Let's take a moment to bow, giving thanks to ourselves for all that we just did. Bringing our hands back down to rest on the tops of our knees. Slowly sliding our hands all the way in front of us. Widening our knees just a little bit. We are going to sink our heart into puppy. Bringing the chin or the forehead to the mat. Taking 3 deep breaths here. Last one, in the nose and out of the mouth. Slowly bringing ourselves up, walking the hands back, bringing ourselves back into hero. We are going to close the practice here today. If an easy seat is more comfortable to you, you can go into that. Arriving back in hero pose, we are going to close the practice here today. If this is uncomfortable to you, you're more than welcome to take an easy seat or to lay out flat on your back. But I'm going to choose to be in hero. Taking the last 5 minutes just to set a few intentions for the rest of the day or the rest of the night. First, we are going to begin with whispering to ourselves, I can do hard things. Next, I will do big things. And now you can choose to say whatever it is you want to intend for yourself, or you can just be silent with yourself here, listening to your breaths. Bringing our right hand to the bottom of our belly, bringing the left hand to our heart center. Let's just take a moment here to feel our breaths. Exhaling to bring our left hand down to our belly and our right hand to heart center. Now let's whisper to ourselves, I've done my best, I leave the rest. Batting our eyes open, removing our mat, removing our block, crossing the ankles just to arrive in easy seat here. This can just help guide us up out of the flow. I really appreciate y'all for sticking it out with me with this detoxifying lifting flow. It was a little bit of a challenge, even for me. I was shaking, I was tired, but it was nothing that we couldn't handle. So until next time, thank you for flowing with me.
Jesus Christ. This floor is hard as fuck. What the hell did I create?